Hello and welcome to Campaign Comrades, your favorite leftist gaming podcast. I'm your host, Ben, and with me as always are my co-hosts.
I'm Mike, and I'm back.
The boy, he lives.
Yeah.
Boy who lived. It's me, Matt.
What up? It's Andrew.
How are we doing, Mike? How's it?
And
how's
on
it
the
feel to be free?
27,000th day, he has risen.
Yeah.
It sucks because all of the life things hit you at once that you neglected for 3 months because you lived in Barbary land preparing for the bar exam. But we're getting there. The monkey on the back is gone, and it's a good feeling until I fail.
Have to do it again.
Now that you put that out into the universe, that's going to be hovering there until you get the results.
Yeah, how long would you expect it until they get the results? I feel like it's got to be
it's like
long,
3 months.
Yeah, a long bureaucratic
It's
process.
a hazing process.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hazing process that they're like, we're gonna make you wait. You're gonna have to sit there and just
sweat
in your misery.
Just sweat.
Yeah, sweat it out.
So if any of you pick up a job until then, you're gonna feel imposter syndrome hard.
But yeah, no, it's like working a job that is contingent on you continuing passing that exam.
Yeah.
Maybe you get one more shot at it, and like they'll keep you on till then. But some places are like, oh, you failed the first time, bye-bye. Luckily my employer won't do that. But
yesterday
it is a scare.
Yesterday it was announced at work that we're hiring another ME, and we're looking for someone who has a PE. So we're not looking for someone straight out of college, which jogged my memory. And I pulled up the picture of when they sent me my Vermont State FE license. They sent me the wrong certificate. They sent me the PE license.
Oh my God.
With FE documentation. So I showed it to my manager, and I was like, you've already got a PE on staff. I don't know what you're talking about.
The man's too good. Yeah, he's too good. He skipped a level.
My enjoyment during that exam was leaving the multiple choice early both days and watching everyone else sweat as I confidently walked out, because I take multiple choice like a boss and finish in with 15 minutes left.
That's the
trick with those is if you don't get it right away, move on.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Just keep moving.
Yeah, so multiple choice is my thing.
And
so
it was standardized test too. It's like you're better off skipping the question. Statistically, it's just better to get through as much as possible rather than
usually in my experience, at least for the types of exams I take, math and science based. If you skip one early on, you might remember by the time you come back to it because you've done problems that deal with similar.
Yep. Same thing with this exam. Something might jog your memory, and you go back. And I didn't question many of the answers, and I was honestly confident with some of them. So I just But
yeah, definitely, because there's a writing portion though. I was fairly confident that you were going to be on the hook for a while, waiting for those results to come back, because that shit takes a long time.
Don't worry. I put a good word in with Miss Ed Hotchley for you, and she said that she'll guarantee you're gonna pass the bar. So taken care of.
Nice,
amazing. But yeah, any thoughts on what game you're gonna jump into next? It'll just to get to our first topic a little bit. I'm fairly confident it's not going to be an Ubisoft game.
Mike told me he's playing Roller Champions. Actually,
it's gonna be Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney.
That's your number one play on your must play.
I've actually been playing It Takes Two with my girlfriend. Right. I've been enjoying that. But
are you playing as Potato Dad?
Yes, I'm Potato Dad.
Nice.
That's how I played.
I'm excited to jump into Elden Ring when I get the chance to sit down and play a long campaign game.
I'm still too scared.
I've downloaded that on my Steam Deck.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared of the game. I'm scared of the time of Elden Ring.
I'm excited for the time commitment because it'll be the first time I get to commit.
It'll be something that you want to, that you really actually want to.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're saying you're not
like me,
study.
I'm like that meme of the drained guy where it's like, come back, sweetie. It's like, honey, I've already played 300-hour games this year.
Yeah, so we know oftentimes we try to start our episodes with our heated gaming moment that's try to tie into our first topic, but we were talking before we recorded. It's like, I think that's impossible today because nobody here on the channel is playing any Ubisoft games, because we actually like to play good games that are supported and complete.
We don't hate ourselves that much. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
Just don't go back and look at the footage of us playing Halo Infinite.
So I maybe almost like relapsed on my my Ubisoft usage with the upcoming Skull and Bones. I was like I almost tricked myself into being like, yeah, I may be interested when it comes out, but like I've just seen so much more about it that like, nah, that's gonna be a skip for me. But somebody already mentioned it. Roller Champions, that's our first topic of the day. We're continuing where we left off last week. More Ubisoft slander. It just keeps on coming. The train keeps on moving. No stops here. Express train to just Shitsville with Ubisoft. So there is a bit of
I have a question for the group on Ubisoft.
Okay.
If someone gave us like $300 million, but we had to buy Ubisoft with that $300 million,
Like the company?
yes, would you do it?
No, I would just disappear to
because then I
Mexico
would just sell
and
the
pay someone
company.
$250 million to cover for me.
Okay,
It's
fair
like,
enough.
because I feel like you would lose
Can
that
we
money
even
anyway,
fix
even
it?
if you try.
Like,
if
that's
you
what
tried
I'm
to
saying.
do
Can
it.
we even fix it?
Again, as
No, I would
Jermaine
just
Cole
sell it
said,
and take a little bit of a loss.
don't save her. She don't want to be saved.
You really don't. But so Roller Champions was like, in the news for a couple days, because I love that every single outlet always refers to games journalist Jeff Grubb as industry insider. I'm like, how do you get that title? It's like, as a journalist, it's like, how do you get that title? Why is it that he's like the only industry insider that you see talked about? But on one of his podcast appearances, he like claimed to have heard from inside sources that Roller Champions, the live service Ubisoft game where it's basically like a extremely tame version of of Murder Ball, but with like no murdering. It's like a roller derby sport game. You 3v3 like online co-op, like a live service, that the game was going to get axed after its third season. It is currently still only in its first season. That is titled Disco Fever. But yeah, he claimed that he had heard stuff that after its third season it was just gonna slowly drift off into oblivion. And this is what's so hilarious about it, is that like this game has been out for like less than 2 months, and Ubisoft is already having to come back and defend it. It's like, no, we're definitely not canceling it. For those folks at home, I'm doing serious scare quotes. But the official game Twitter account pushed back on Grubb's claims, stating, what the Roller Champions dev team is doing is making sure we focus on what our players have told us needs improvement, and that supersedes all other priorities. Yeah, what do you think those improvements have been, or they've asked for those improvements? A better game?
Yeah.
A good game?
Something fun? Can you make this fun?
Their whole goal was just to make a new Fortnite, and 3 months in, they're not.
No one's had the recipe for Fortnite since
At
Fortnite.
least they,
to create the next one.
Who knows if they actually recognize this, but if it is officially going to be canceled, at least they recognized it early and aren't like going to commit to 10 seasons before they're just like, yeah, no, this isn't working.
Yeah, how much do you think that was just PR pushback to try to keep keep all the shit from devolving by like oh no, we really are really seeing that this is not working, that we're not seeing the player base we want to, and the financially it's not there, so we're going to wind it down as early as we
lost
can.
10% last quarter, and
and that they just like they don't want to admit it to the public that they're doing that. They're obviously it's in their incentive to, like, the meager player base they have, they want to try to eke as much money out of them as possible. Like, because as we covered last week, they're in real dire straits in terms of their financial status. At least relatively speaking to the rest of their industry and their major competitors. So like, yeah, I see it as it's a little bit of smoke and mirrors, trying to cover their asses, because they're not going to admit that we're done until they're not going to admit that it's done until like the day before they're shutting it down.
Absolutely. No, they're like, we need to keep the 100 players we have for the next 2 seasons. So
you say that as a joke, the 100 players. I'm pretty sure that was like its peak Twitch viewership on whenever this news was in the discussion. Like, that's what the peak Twitch viewership was 100 people.
100
for a game that's less than 2 months old. That's insane.
Yeah.
But they're basically extending indefinitely the current season. In game development, the word indefinitely is never a good sign. Is never ever a good sign. But they're updating and adding new content, but no word on what or when that content might drop. Meanwhile, however, the infinitely more interesting looking Roller Drome, a single player third person action shooter on roller skates, keeps getting more praise and interest ahead of its own launch in the middle of August. That one's coming out August 16th.
Well, it looks actually interesting. Like, not to be that guy.
That game looks sweet.
It looks like a really interesting, it's committed to an art style. It's got an
actual gameplay loop.
Sure. Yeah. And I'm like, again, I'm a first I'm a single player game, sicko. I don't tend to gravitate towards multiplayer solely focused games, so it's got to have a little bit, to me it feels like it's got to have a little bit more meat on its bones to really kind of satisfy a single player experience. Multiplayer can get by with a lot less because you're focusing on the quote unquote social aspect of it to fill in the gaps.
Mm-hmm.
That becomes a big part of the experience, where this is actually cool. Like, I've seen some cool breakdowns of the level design, and it seems like a much more interesting game.
Agreed. If you became a hardcore online gamer, we'd have to reform you like Matt.
Send me to re-education.
I know a re-education camp.
Yeah. Matt knows a good one.
Matt's got a place.
Got a guy.
Yeah. But man, August is actually proven to be going to be a pretty good month as well. I mean, so the
latter half of this year has a lot of months with a couple good things coming out in it.
Yeah, I'm excited for Saints Row as well. It comes out on a Friday, so it'll be like a day for our group stream. I'm probably gonna go on early before we normally go live to I'm committing now so that way you guys can jump in and see my absolutely beautiful my beautiful sicko that I've created in the Boss Factory thing. Oh my god, my man is gorgeous. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, the Ubisoft is still just, again, we've got a bunch more here for them. That was like the funnier kind of bit of it. Then we get to more serious stuff that it's been like over a year at this point since the creation of their own workplace advocacy group. They formed in solidarity with the Activision Blizzard workers with that original California EEOC lawsuit, and then even took their naming convention from a better ABK. So this group is a better Ubisoft. They penned their own open letter, again standing in solidarity with Activision Blizzard at the time, but then they also called out Ubisoft's own mismanagement surrounding various misconduct scandals in the past, including again a number of instances of sexual harassment and assault. That's essentially par for the course with all these major companies. But so this is a year after they made that letter and made their initial demands. they've posted a Twitter thread claiming that nothing has changed at the publisher. That this is all despite our who's slowly becoming enemy number one, even over Bobby Kotick, Yves Guillemot. Saying, like, he's doing everything in his power to make sure that it's a safe, healthy, and encouraging place to work. But that's just again proven to be hollow PR speak.
Yeah, Eve, you know what motion I'm making right now? It's the jerk off motion.
But so in their thread, they revealed that 25% of the people who signed that open letter just months ago have since left the company. 60% of those individuals who quit use he him pronouns. 39% use she her, and 1% use they them. Why that's important is it's showing that that women represent now only 25.4% of Ubisoft's global workforce, and that they are disproportionately losing women who signed on to that.
I would just like to point out that, and not to get on say that Ubisoft's doing anything good, but that is higher than the industry standard or industry average.
A meager. That's they got to get their wins somewhere, right?
But they're trending downwards. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
But it's just like, of the people who have quit, or the other people who signed that letter, the majority of them are, or at least a disproportionate amount of them are women. But so then they went on to reiterate all their demands that include, and I'll just list them here: stop promoting and moving known offenders from studio to studio under the publisher.
The Catholic Church
method.
Model.
Yeah, absolutely. Team to team with no repercussions. The cycle needs to end. They want a collective seat at the table to have a meaningful say in how Ubisoft as a company moves forward from there. Hey folks, I mean, I'm never critical of people who are trying to hold their employers accountable, but I think I know that there's a way that you can do that. It starts with a U and ends with an N. Unions, maybe. Ever heard of them?
Uranium?
Ben, do you form a union to settle issues with your family? I don't think so.
We should.
Unionize brothers.
Yeah. All right.
Dad's union.
Yeah, dad's against the world.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, we've accidentally created a men going their own way movement.
Yeah.
Oh no, what have we done? So that's only the first two. Then there are two more: cross-industry collaboration to agree to get a set of ground rules and processes that all studios can use to handle these offenses in the future. Again, I feel like that's something that unions can help with. And that this
doesn't the law kind of handle that one?
At private companies, not really.
Clearly not. Yeah,
that's all in-house, baby. So this collaboration must heavily
they want a
involve...
payout scheme. They want to know how much they get per assault.
The final one is that the collaboration must heavily involve employees in non-management positions and union representatives. There we go. There's the word we're looking for.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, screw management. Cool. They get them out of here. And so while this isn't I saw this article pop up yesterday as well, and I saw it again this morning, so I added it in here. It's technically not with so that first point, the stop promoting and moving known offenders from studio to studio, that is referring to within Ubisoft. But this one came up. It's this is again an industry problem. This isn't about Ubisoft, because they actually did give this guy the boot. So the former Assassin's Creed creative director Ashraf Ismail was fired from Ubisoft following their investigation into misconduct. He was one of the few people actually named and implicated in the wave of allegations about their toxic culture and abuse in 2020. But he has just resurfaced as a consultant creative director at Tencent Studio, as as a consultant. Their Tencent is assuring us that, I mean, so it's just proof that like none of these people see any repercussions from their actions.
And that's just
Questions,
two
yeah.
models working together. That's the Catholic Church model in-house, and then the neoliberal just consultant grift.
Failing
it's almost
upward,
more like
failing
the cop
upwards.
model,
Yeah,
where they
absolutely.
they put the cop underground
No,
for
you're-
a little bit.
you're-
and
no,
then they
you're absolutely
resurface them in
right.
a new.
You're absolutely right about that, Matt. Yeah, it's like going to just they get hired in a a new district. But yeah, so Tencent opened up a studio in Montreal, and this guy's working as a consultant, and they are reassuring us that he's not abusing anymore. They say during our work with Ash, he has carried himself in a professional manner, has consistently shown an eagerness to learn and grow as both a team member and a person. He's done growth, folks. He's done some.
I believe them.
growth.
I believe them.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, and it's telling when specifically like they hire them as a consultant rather than an employee, because there's less liability as an independent contractor
Right.
than if you have than if you hire him as an employee. So you could just push the liability off to him. And that's why I say it's the neoliberal consultant grift model. They do it at all corporate levels of bureaucracy and even within politics.
I mean, Ubisoft again just keeps they're just circling the drain. I do not see things improving for them anytime soon with these the waves of again mismanagement in terms of their actual game production. They're clearly they're losing talent. They're they have not changed their culture, it seems, in any reasonable way. Why people want to go work there? Again, you're hearing bad story after bad story for them, and the financials are being reflected there, and that's what really matters.
Do they even have an Assassin's Creed coming out soon?
That was one of
delayed.
the recent delays. It was technically not one of their mainline games. It was like the one that was basically was originally going to be another Valhalla expansion that they then turned into a smaller spin-off. Because their next proposed one is the Infinity one, which is like I never could grasp
Supposed to be a live service.
Yeah, it's like I couldn't quite understand. Is it supposed to be live service? Because it's like a hub type thing where it's like you'll be able to like go into different. They're basically saying like, oh, it's going to be multiple Assassin's Creed games in one.
Essentially.
Yeah, and
they're also of the multiverse.
There's also been rumor of their next single player focused Assassin's Creed focusing on Aztec culture, but that's more of a
cool.
But I wonder how that could go.
It's going to be through the eyes of the Spanish.
Oh, it'll obviously go horribly wrong, but it'll just be like
it'll be justifying the Spanish.
Latin America.
They just
Inquisition.
No, they just need to consult Mel Gibson.
Conquistadors. Yeah.
He made Apocalypse.
Conquistadors are good guys.
You're a conquistador.
Yeah, they don't even have their bread and butter.
No.
Well, I think the fun one's going to be that like theoretical Immortals Phoenix Rising Polynesian one, because Ubisoft is a French company, and France and Polynesia have a fun little history.
Interest. That's one way to put it. Yeah,
a happy little accident.
I mean, I'm all in favor of like non-Western mythos and stuff being explored, but like let people whose culture that is actually do it, not the people who like
not by the colonizers
genocided that culture.
Yeah.
Speaking of genociding culture, woke
sure.
star.
Sure. That's a transition. We'll go with that. But it's still under the umbrella of again, shitty corporate practices within the industry. There was a report from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier talking about all the measures GTA or that Rockstar has gone to clean house with their production of the next GTA game. Like part of it is the explanation of why basically they've been developing GTA 6 for going on 10 years at this point. It's actually has good
10
reasons.
More
behind,
years.
Oh
10 more years.
It's good reasons behind it though. It's like that they actually have made they seem to have made meaningful advances in cutting out like crunch.
no
culture.
more company strip club visits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And no
Yeah, no,
more
that-
Fight Club.
yeah, that's right here. Yeah, the employees described a workplace culture full of drinking, brawling, and excursions to strip clubs.
So they're just playing GTA in real
Yeah.
life.
Yeah,
No, they were
that's-
probably like they would spend like a couple hours like programming, and it'd be like 1 PM. Like,
Yeah.
yo, you want to go to the strip club, and then like go to the,
Yeah.
the fight, the like boxing ring after. Just be shit faced by 6 o'clock.
But they so like they talked about how the strategy was financially successful. Obviously, Grand Theft Auto 5 has sold 165 million copies. But also, yeah, it's obviously led to significant backlash within the company from its employees. But Rockstar has taken it upon themselves, which is again surprising to do, because as a private company, they are, when I say private company, that's not actually true, but the as a corporation, they are they don't need to they don't really need to do that. And it's like we shouldn't be relying upon the conscience of these executives to to, out of the kindness of their heart, to not grind their employees to within an inch of their mental sanity limits. But they are they're doing something. At least there were interviews conducted with more than 20
but
people.
how much of this is just like good press?
I agree. Like I don't see like real tangible stuff coming through this article
Yeah.
as well. Like I do.
They're walking
think
through the studio, and everyone is like happily like working at their computer. And the second they're around the corner, they hit the button, and it flips around the wall.
Yeah.
And they're smoking cigars with strippers sitting on their desks.
Yes, this one here is an employee described it as a boys club transformed into a real company. Yeah, that does seem a little bit coerced a little bit to me. There's something about that language that just seems a little bit like PR told
If
you
they
to
looked
say
off
this.
screen, there was an executive
Yep.
sitting there with a gun pulled.
Yeah, exactly. Was this a Zoom interview that the journalist? Yeah, you can never know what's behind the screen.
But like they're according to these people, morale across the company is higher than it's ever been. That's probably still a very low bar.
Yeah. To go from like brawls and strippers and to anything is
Hey man, every well-functioning company has a fight club in the middle of the week. Everyone knows that. That's how you settle company disputes.
it's in the union contract.
This article didn't have numbers here, but like I guess this is like a tangible piece that they have converted contractors to full-time employees. That's good.
That's good. That is one thing we can say is good.
They've ousted, I should say, several managers and
Outed.
they
outed.
no, they
Okay.
they didn't do that. No,
They off.
Not so good.
yeah, no, they ousted. Sorry. But again, where are those people gonna peek up their heads after going aground for a little while?
Oh look, they're working at EA now.
And they've given employees some mental health and leave benefits, I guess, is good. They've got a policy called flexi time, which is again that like it's like again, rather than having a union contract that strictly enforces your benefits and all this, it's just like some policy that could absolutely be overturned that allows staff to immediately take time off for every extra hour they work.
Hilarious.
Cool.
That's hilarious. And what a cutesy name. I
Yeah.
love the cutesy name. Flexi time.
No,
It's your flexi
Guys.
time. It's cute. It's cool. It's fun.
Probably just to separate it from like actual PTO, so that for the HR documentation.
what it reminds me of is that conservative bill that was suggested where women could be paid out of their retirement.
Yeah, was that a Rubio? That was a Rubio
Yeah,
thing,
I think it
right?
was. I think it was.
It was like
Rubio,
they get extra
fantastic.
maternity leave if they decide to retire later.
Yeah,
It's like
but-
if they
but you have to retire
extend their
Hey man,
their
all
retirement
I'm saying is the
age, yeah.
Japanese model, where if you don't take 15-minute smoke breaks, you get an extra week of vacation a year.
I'm down.
But then there's also the Japanese model where if you are a woman and you get pregnant, you lose your job.
Yeah.
Well, no, that was that one company because that was the
That
whole.
was
remember we
that was
talked
from
about-
software.
That was from
software.
But what we were saying was Japan covers the maternity leave there, and that was the way that ends up.
Yeah, but it's like you have no job to come back to.
Still,
Yeah,
yeah,
you do.
unemployed.
They hire a short term person. We've covered this.
I don't. That's not what I remember. But
I feel like you're just dick riding for From Software.
Yeah,
Because
I don't
you're a
need
Souls
to.
Yeah,
guy.
stop keeping for them. I'll take your word for it. I am not up to date on the
Matt got his review copy of the DLC just last week.
I wish. 'Cause then I would be able to push off Forbidden West again.
Oh God, come on! I can't be the only one who has played it. All right, so that's it for GTA. It's like,
What do you
yeah,
mean
sure.
that's it? We haven't even covered the most controversial thing: a Latina main
Oh right,
character.
I forgot that, yeah.
Oh my god. Make a Chicana.
Yeah, I guess,
One of the
yeah.
podcasts I listen to is hosted by Latina, and she was like, "I hope they just do it right and don't do things like, oh, no one's gonna mess with this puta," and just like putting like random Spanish words into sentences to be like, "Look, she's Hispanic."
You punta bitch. Yeah, I'm interested to see how that goes down with fans. I mean, so this article, like that, you sent it to us through Reddit. Oh my God, if you want a little bit of brain poisoning, go look at those comments. It's just all bad, all bad stuff. Not a good time.
What do you mean? Woke Star is just ruining everything, man. If it's not my male protagonist, it's not GTA.
It's like their comments are like, yeah, it's not like we don't care that employees are getting better, or are having a better work environment. Well, there's like you're basically like, yeah,
Wokeness is ruining.
There's like, yeah, sounds lame. What's their thing?
Sounds lame.
like, yeah, sounds not fun. It was just like the old model sounds
no,
fun.
thank you.
Like, yeah, you can go to strip clubs, but you get the other side of it is that you get harassed and worked into the ground, so you have a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's this is a game that who knows when we'll ever see it. Moving on to a game that I hope we actually do never see, is the indie game Lord of the Rings Gollum. We watched the announcement or like a release
I
trailer.
don't know why you're not
on
excited about
stream.
this. It's 2009. We're still in high school. Life is good. The PS3 is just launched.
Yeah,
and this looks next gen to me.
But they've come out and said it's being delayed by a few months to quote deliver the best possible experience. Mike, since you were in a whole nother world when that was happening, when you have a chance, go ahead and watch that trailer. It's not good.
Yeah, I might have to watch that right now.
It's short enough, man. Just like take a minute. It's, oh my God, and it's like
2009. The PS3 just came out.
The graphics are terrible, and the gameplay looks really boring. But like, to me, the worst part is that they somehow managed to, they went above and beyond to find the one voice actor who couldn't actually do a Gollum impression.
Oh my God,
I forgot about that.
Like, I could do a better one. I won't curse our listeners with trying to do one.
I treasure it. The precious, filthy
It's
hobbits is there. Just take that and you can run that through the game engine.
So yeah, well,
I don't even know if PS3
is fair enough.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think this is PS2.
It's like really embarrassing. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, sure, you're a small studio. Like, I don't expect like crazy high fidelity stuff, but like at least then go with like a more stylized
they didn't do the small
art.
studio thing though. You need to launch it by first showing me all 5 devs who worked on it and have them tell me how much love they put into it, and how if you don't love it, they're gonna hate themselves.
It's like show them their cat, and it's like, yeah, if you don't give me this game, like I'm gonna have to put the it's like I won't be able to afford cat food, and my kitty's gonna starve. You got, where's the emotional manipulation?
Everyone knows that's how you do it if you don't have a good game as a small developer.
But oh my god, like this was one that like when I heard about it at first, I was like, oh okay, like I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. If I'll check it out. But like that thing came out and it's just like oof, it's rough.
I don't like this
Gollum is
argument, but like,
terrifying.
Yeah,
who wants to play a game as Gollum?
I mean, I think it could be cool. I mean, stealth games can be fun if they're short enough. I think that they're okay, but like, I mean, Gollum is literally like actually like the main character of the books. Like the in terms of the narrative arc, he's like the fulcrum around which the entire story kind of bends.
Like
And
R2D2.
so it's actually not a bad comparison, but like I thought maybe the concept could have been okay, but like the what they've shown us is just really bad. And like so for our next delay announcement, I so wish that these were swapped. That like it was just that this next one was delayed a few months, and that
Agreed.
and that Gollum was delayed indefinitely as they tried to fix it. Again, I'm never upset about delays because again, we always want better games and we want we don't want crunch to creep in anywhere, and it's not like we're at a shortfall for good games to play.
This is the second of this type of delay I've had in the past 5 years for a game I was looking forward to.
Yeah, but yeah, it's probably goes without saying though, but the Knights of the Old Republic remake has been delayed indefinitely. And again, we get that word again, and that is not good news.
What makes it not good is how it happened.
Absolutely.
They created their
too.
vertical slice demo to show off. They showed it to Disney and Lucas.
Sony.
LucasArts Games.
It was Sony and Lucas.
Sony, yeah, sorry, Sony. Sorry, Disney's probably just in the background puppeteering LucasArts.
Yeah.
They show them the vertical
Lucasfilm
slice.
is Disney now.
And then a week later, the creative director and what was the other
I
one?
think it's the art director.
Yeah. The creative director and the art
Art and
director
design.
were fired.
Mysteriously
And the game was
died.
put on pause indefinitely. That does not paint a good picture for what was going on.
No.
And they're basically the studio that's taking it is called Asper, which
It's
is
actually Aspire.
Aspire. Okay.
I thought it was Asper too, and then I've been correct.
Asperger's.
Yeah. No, that actually with the spelling,
Asper.
I guess that makes a little bit more sense. So
Yeah.
they were the ones behind the recent Switch port as well.
Yes.
And that's kind of what they were mostly known for.
They're more of a port studio than a remake studio. This was a weird
Yeah.
choice, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
And I mean, if we didn't cover it, I think on the channel, but it was news that I was paying attention to that the Switch port did not go smoothly. There was like a significant game-breaking bug that
was in KOTOR 2, if I'm not mistaken. It was the second one that had the bigger issues.
I thought it was I think it was the KOTOR one.
Because there was something in the DLC for the second one that was completely inaccessible and broken.
That I would understand. No, but I'm pretty sure this was KOTOR. It was something that you literally could not progress. It was in the main game and you could not progress. It like just bugged out. They made a fix. It didn't last that long. It was maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks that they got and they had like a workaround to get there, but like they're in the meantime. But like so that it hasn't been smooth sailing for them by any means. But
no, Matt was right. It's the Switch. It was the KOTOR 2.
Okay,
Was the more broken one.
I could have sworn that it was because I just remember
they launched far enough apart, so KOTOR 2 is the more recent of the two that launched.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. I think I probably got it confused in my mind because I was like following along some people who were playing KOTOR on Switch, the original, and was thinking like, oh, I feel bad for that person who's about to reach a game-breaking bug. So I guess I just didn't pay enough attention.
No, it's KOTOR 2. No way to complete the game.
Yeah, but they have.
Oh my God.
They have fixed it. They did fix that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this one is here. It's like this is not good. It's like they took a series of meetings in July. The two studio heads told employees that the project is on pause and that the company will look for new contracts and development opportunities. So that just like literally means we're not doing it. We're taking
It's
literally all resources away from it.
This is what happened to Metroid Prime 4. where Nintendo looked at a demo of it and went, "Oh no, no, this isn't good. Start over. We're new studio. Nope, you're done. Get out."
Bye. You
Do you really
fired.
think it? Do you really think it was that bad? It's like, or like, because from what I read, it's like all the people involved were happy with it. You know, thought it looked good, and it's the executives.
Well, I think that's the part that's scary. Was it potentially something they were happy with that is actually not good? Because that could be like a low standards thing.
Or it could have been Lucasfilms, or i.e. Disney, or being the one saying like, no, this is not what we want to like represent the movies, or like, the
brand.
I would bet you to an extent
the
it would be more
brand,
Sony,
whatever.
if anything, because this is supposed to be one of Sony's big
exclusives.
It doesn't matter. Disney owns the IP. I'm saying from like a brand standpoint, like the Star Wars brand, the Lucasfilm brand, that it would seem to me Disney just like saying like, this doesn't comport with our brand. Like, how could you, the art and design director, do
It's not
this
gay enough.
type thing?
Yeah,
Revan wasn't a trans woman.
Or is Aspire doing bad things? Like, is there about to be a news story?
I'd just rather see it go to a different studio at this point.
What people are thinking though is because Saber Interactive, who was doing some outsourcing for the project, they're thinking they may take it over completely. It is another Embracer owned studio.
This is just going to be me simping for Sony a little bit, but I'd prefer Bluepoint over anyone else.
I know you have because they're actually a good remake studio.
Yeah.
But I think I'm right here that Saber Interactive is the studio that's doing the Space Marine 2. I'm pretty sure, which is again one I'm very excited for. But
it's also a printer company from the Office universe.
Yeah, I think of the Office printer company as well.
But we won't be wholly without Star Wars content in the future, though. Not that that's ever an ever life.
Yeah, was that ever a fear?
But Jedi Survivor,
Disney's taking Star Wars and Marvel to the bank, just milking that cow until it's dry.
Yeah. The Fallen Order sequel is rumored for release in early March of next year.
Well, and I just want to say something going back to Matt's comment about like the quality thing. Just Disney and like Star Wars, Lucasfilm, they don't care about quality. Look at Disney, what Disney's doing to Marvel.
Oh my god,
the Hulk looks like the fucking Shrek. Like Shrek has better CGI or whatever, better renderings than the fucking new Hulk.
Yeah, that's what everybody was saying.
Dude, shut up! It looks great.
Looked worse than Fiona.
You're a bigot.
If
you don't like it, it's because you're a racist, sexist bigot.
Yeah, racist against
women
green
could be
people.
lawyers.
Yeah, no, that too. Yeah, I'm part of the boys club now.
Yeah, when you get your card, when you get your club card.
Yeah. But for right now, I got to simp and otherize her. Simp for the boys club until they accept me.
But yeah, I mean, I need to give Fallen Order another try. I got stuck back when it first came out and didn't continue. I've got to give that another playthrough. And
it's also playable on Steam Deck, which is probably how I'm going to be playing a majority of my PC games for the foreseeable future.
It was one of the few games that I transferred over when I got my PS5 because I got the
I have it on PS5 as well, but I feel like there's something more novel about me playing it in like I'm bringing my Steam Deck with me to the dealership today while I'm getting my car worked on. I'm just going to be Steam Decking in the lobby.
So for me, it was what I really didn't like about it was the environmental enemies, like just like all the creatures you have to fight going around, the frog guys.
I liked them.
The big frog guy wasn't the issue. It's just like the little guys. They're just like it was just
especially if you went and got the double saber early on.
Big fan.
Fucking knock them out. Yeah.
How do you get that early on though? It took me like I barely like got
you could get it very early on.
Yeah.
You could go like
immediately
right away
you
if
can
you
get
wanted to. Yeah. It's just like it's hard getting past like the couple of the brothers.
You just run
you
by.
can pretty much just run by them. And then you like go down to the left and it's like right there.
Maybe when I
found it accidentally.
Yeah, Ben, you just have to embrace your inner Joseph Joestar and just run away.
Okay.
No, and then the double saber is just like those enemies are so easy because it's like ping, ping, 1, 2, they're dead.
But yeah, I always felt like it was just a time sink. It's just like, because it's such a you got to be a little bit more patient in terms of its gameplay.
That was one that when it came out, it launched like with a fair amount of bugs, and I was like, I'll just wait till it's fixed, and then it got fixed, and I was like, I'll just like fit it in whenever, and I've just never played it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was until I got stuck on one of the Sith guy on Dathomir.
He's pretty
I got
tough.
Yeah,
stuck
but
on
Cal
him.
isn't a Skywalker, so I don't want to follow a Star Wars story that doesn't follow a Skywalker. That's why the sequel trilogy is so great, because of Rey Skywalker.
What are our thoughts though about EA's lineup, because they've also announced they're in the early development stages for a single player Black Panther game.
My
It's like,
reaction to that was don't care.
It's like, do we think
My whole
that
thing is
EA
the Black
can put out
Panther's
a
powers
successful
don't necessarily
superhero
translate
game?
to a video game very well.
I mean, what they've done in the movies, like with his like suit stuff, like the energy
Yeah,
absorption
it's
stuff,
tech
they could
stuff.
he do a little bit more with that.
Well, and
but,
he
like,
has like super jumping and stuff
yeah,
like that.
it'll be
like,
traversal,
even, like, the jungle.
traversal stuff. That's going to
Yeah.
be the core gameplay loop. But like,
Was it EA that did the game that we don't speak about, Marvel Avengers?
no, that
No.
was Square.
That's Square
Square,
Enix,
okay.
because they
Okay.
did both that and Guardians.
But that's
they did
worth.
them
But
different.
Yes.
it's still worth bringing up though. I mean, because EA does not have SA probably has a worse reputation than Square.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, as you were just saying, Matt, like they are notoriously launch games in incredibly buggy states and all that. But like we saw, flops like Marvel's Avengers and the quote disappointing sales of Guardians of the Galaxy, admittedly a good game. But it's like, do we think that superhero games can even be successful in this day and age?
Unless,
So I
like,
think it's
Spider-Man.
interesting because I
you're
think
right about that,
the
yeah.
success of a superhero game is almost divergent of movie success, except for Spider-Man. Spider-Man is his own like entity at this point.
Yeah.
But like WB
I would
and
agree.
like DC, like the DC movie universe is not exactly like doing well for itself right now, like kind of drowning in its own piss. But like they make good games, like the Batman Arkham games were good superhero games, and like they know how to kind of like
TBD on the
work
next.
that IP.
Yeah,
No.
because that's not Rocksteady. So
Yeah, well, that's why we don't talk about that one.
Well, but I would
But
say that
Rocksteady's
Batman is
doing-
like a
yeah.
league of its own, just like Spider-Man in that sense, because there's no other like DC or like WB games that are really like superhero
Well,
games that are
we're getting
good.
next year. We're getting the Suicide
Wa-
Squad game done
and
by
and
Rocksteady.
Yeah.
eventually getting the Wonder Woman game that has the Shadow of Mordor Nemesis engine, which is an odd choice
done
to
by
me.
Monolith of
Oh, yeah,
Shadow,
that is-
Shadow of War.
Yeah,
That is
I
weird.
such an odd
completely
choice.
forgot that.
Such an odd choice that's what like their net, because they have not used that engine for anything.
Well, yeah,
else
because
since,
Monolith
and-
has only made Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War in the past like 2 decades almost.
Yeah, but I think that Spider-Man and Batman are like league of their own for video gameplay, and that's just like the nature of them. Like they've had such a long franchise of.
They
like,
also
success,
benefit
like-
from who makes them. Again, Rocksteady is a good
Yeah.
company,
Yeah.
Insomniac is a good company.
Exactly. And they were good IP to like develop into video games, where there's never been a successful Avengers style there was like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, there's like all these flops and
There's
like
fighting
smaller
games.
Yeah,
They have
the
lots
scale
of
fighting
games.
games. Yeah.
Yes, the
Ooh,
fighting games
fighting-
are-
And
like,
then there's some
yeah,
like
the
movie
DC
tie-in games from like the Wolverine days. Like there was actually a pretty good
Justice.
Wolverine game that came out.
Yeah, in like PS2 for sure, but like there's not like it hasn't been something that is continued like Spider-Man and Batman.
The
to, like,
problem is
make them
now that they
successful.
have to either tie into what the movies are, because everything needs to
Yep.
be like
but they don't do that
symmetrical
anymore.
across.
They don't do that anymore.
No.
Like there hasn't been like that's
Yeah.
what's been so like astounding, is like that there was basically like they did like an Iron Man
That was part of the
tie-in
complaint.
game,
There was Amazing Spider-Man they
Yeah.
did
and then like
for all those.
and it's like they haven't done.
We don't
they
speak
haven't-
of those movies.
They haven't done. It's that was such a staple of doing the movie
Yeah.
tie-in games. They were like those were cash printing machines, and
Well, those there was a
Not
there was a
anymore.
boom for those in the early mid 2000s, and then they slowly started to taper off as the adaptations became more and more stilted. Like I remember playing what was it? What's the fucking series of unfortunate events? There was a movie that came out with Jim Carrey, and there was a Game Boy Advance game that launched alongside of it.
Incredible.
I didn't know that.
Incredible. Man, I bet that was fucking sweet.
We've talked about how like Revenge of the Sith was a great game.
Oh, I love that game.
And like Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
All the Harry Potter games for a while had.
I was gonna say not all.
They stopped. Yeah, they stopped at some point.
The fourth book / movie is where the games really had a tapering. Because like Order of the Phoenix launched as a Wii exclusive and was horrible.
And then I think Half-Blood Prince may have been the last one that they did one for. But yeah,
I played a Deathly Hallows game on PSP. So
okay, so maybe not.
But you guys mentioned, WB games and fighting games is a move or is a good transition to our next thing. Looks
Multiversus.
It looks like Mr. Smash Brother is having the first real competition of its lifespan as WB's Multiversus is moving into its open beta. It's not even like full release.
Don't forget about the Nickelodeon.
No, that
did horrible.
That's the point. Is that like there is like that one is like
own it.
Yeah, it's absolutely destroying these other games. Like, so we're not even in its actual full release state yet, and its average player count is higher than every other major fighter game on Steam combined. Titles including Brawlhalla, Tekken 7, DNF Duel, Street Fighter 5, Mortal Kombat 11, Guilty Gear, King of Fighters, Nickelodeon All-Star.
Yes.
Notably
not
others.
Counting Smash because not on PC.
Yes.
And Smash does have, I think it's like 28 million copies sold.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. But like this week, Multiversus hit a high of 153,000 concurrent players on Steam. Like that's good, and like you're seeing.
So
actually
the thing they benefit from the most
and
is again free to play, so it's easier to get into. So there's no like, oh, I have to spend money to try this game out. It's free. I can download it, play it, and if I enjoy it, I keep playing.
Yeah, and like as being a free to play game, it's even actually being praised, or at least not completely trashed for its relatively reasonable microtransactions. Like that they are actually.
I love how that's our floor now, or like.
Well, like
it's like cosmetics and stuff.
It's cosmetics, and it's not even all cosmetics. It's like it's like you this is a game where you absolutely can play the whole thing without paying a cent.
Well, you can also buy like a $40 copy that has like everything or something like that.
Yeah, it's like you do have to play to unlock things. You still have to like not every character is free.
That's how Smash works. Smash Ultimate, you start out with like Kirby and like 4 other characters or something like that, and you have to unlock all the rest.
Yeah, I mean, that's how so many Nintendo games work in general.
I wish that's how Kart worked. I wish Mario Kart had a unlock progression system that would make it more
beyond just the karts themselves and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I would love like character like changes and shit.
So they do have their own premium currency called Gleamium, which is always funny. The names that they use for them are always funny to me. But like they're really not. I mean, again, we're still not in its full release date. Like that there isn't a store screen yet. That will arrive, and they'll probably push more. Again, it's still in the beta, so they're not really. They're trying to, optimize it to, what will most likely eventually try.
I wonder if they're going to do it like Ubisoft does, where when you open the menu for the game, like the right half of your screen is all links to the store and like bright flashing things telling you to go to the store.
Man, remember when that just reminded me? Remember when Elden Ring came out and the absolute gall that the Ubisoft UI developer had to like claim that basically that non-Western UI is unintelligible. Again, those comments were fully steeped in racism, but like just like that, like the memes that came back with like turning Elden Ring into an Ubisoft game with all the fucking shit all across the screen, and it's just like
a mini
map.
This
is a good game.
Yes, I enjoy when my game screen is covered by 1,000 different overlays, which is why I'm a Xenoblade Chronicles fan.
Okay, so but there, like, what's really piqued my interest in this is actually the real kind of deranged weirdness of the characters that they're including. Because I'm hearing plenty of things that, like, the gameplay is actually good. That's
Well,
a
I
big
heard
reason
from the
why
first launch that Bugs Bunny was a bit overtuned, and he's
they've
being
nerfed him.
nerfed.
Yeah, they've nerfed him a little bit. Which is such a funny phrase, that nerfing Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
That is very funny.
You can't
to me as
nerf
well.
a multi-dimensional being like Bugs
creature.
Bunny.
Yeah. But I had to ask though, like, what character additions would make you guys want to play? Because you got to think about, and it's strange about what is actually held as
Under the Warner Brothers umbrella.
WBIP. Yeah, because the one that's like, it's still kind of rumored at this point, but it's like, is Ted Lasso, which is like, an Apple TV show, but
Hilarious.
because it's how it's filmed, like whatever is the production studio
Yeah.
is a Warner Brothers owned thing, so it's totally viable.
So again, I'm gonna call to what I said initially
Barry.
when we were talking about this game,
Barry.
The Sopranos.
No, I say the Sopranos characters would like,
Yeah,
if
that'd
you
be
could
good.
play as Tony Soprano, throwing slices of
Polly Walnuts.
No, see,
Polly
but see, for
Walnuts.
me, it's
Tony
like
Soprano,
you're
where
throwing
his special
gabagool
ability is going and eating lunch meats out of his fridge.
or getting into
heal
a car
himself.
crash, or getting into a car crash, having a panic attack behind the wheel of the car, and getting in a car crash. That's what'll do it for me.
No,
Like
Polly Walnuts, his backhand would just be
devastating! It's
invincible.
like the Smash baseball bat.
Yeah.
I know.
If you
So we
time
are.
it right, you get the
Mr.
satisfying
Hand.
sound.
Yeah, we've already said that, like, if we've ever played it, that we already know that Andrew's going to become a LeBron main.
For sure.
Which is, like, again, it's very funny that they're including him. I have to say, one definite criticism though is, I think it is LeBron who's like doing the voicing and stuff for him, because they definitely paid him a shit ton of money for one day's work, and it shows.
Sure.
My man is a terrible actor.
Sure.
And
How can you say that? Have you seen that Amy Schumer movie where he acts as LeBron James for
Train
5
wreck.
minutes of screen time?
But dude, it's like, if you listen to some of the bits of LeBron's dialogue and his his one-liners,
I like to
it's-
assume he
it's
plays
bad.
like Captain Falcon, and he's just LeBron punch.
He
LeBron
throws
kick.
he throws a basketball around, and like he's like a bomb.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you hear a lot. I'm hearing a lot of praise though, because it's like the characters are wild, but like they actually have unique and satisfying move sets.
Yeah, a year ago,
and-
did you think I could tell you that there would be a game where you could kill Ultra Instinct Shaggy as Harley Quinn?
Yeah, it's yeah.
The
but for
Iron
me, it's-
Giant, a
it's-
noted pacifist.
Yeah, that's the one that upsets me. But definitely, like if they somehow got Sopranos characters in it, I would absolutely.
That would be awesome.
I would
Who else
absolutely
falls under
play.
the WB? Like that's a
A lot.
huge,
So
it's
much.
a
It's
huge
like pretty much
umbrella.
anything HBO.
It's Turner. It's anything on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because Arya Stark is
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, which was so funny in the launch trailer. I was like, "Who the fuck is this little girl?" It's like,
Hilarious.
which was again proof to. It was nothing about like the character design or anything like that for the game. It was just about like how much I like memory hold Game of Thrones, and it's just like how
Yeah.
like I've let the
Completely
quote
memory
unquote
hold.
cultural impact just slide off my brain. And it's just like, yeah, who the fuck is this little girl, and why are they including her in this game?
Why is Godzilla not in there yet? Is he? I don't think he is.
Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah.
Maybe King Kong.
Dude, Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, again,
he's confirmed.
That's
He's confirmed
Cool.
as an update as a we'll
Rick
read
and
about it.
Morty.
And,
They're in it,
yeah, they're already in,
think.
like they're
Yeah.
they're I think going to be in the same wave as Johnny Bravo.
I can't wait to see how they modernize Johnny Bravo, because there's some Johnny Bravoisms that hey there, pretty lady, you want to
Yeah.
come?
He's just his moveset is just doing a date rape.
Yeah, he just
Immediately
throws
canceled.
roofies into your mouth.
You log into the game, you go to do an attack, and then your character just disappears, and there's just a sensor bar over it.
All right. So yeah, it's just move over, Mr. Smash Brother. You've got your first real competitor. We'll see how it plays out. If it keeps being if it keeps being popular, or if it's just the recent fad. But like,
Or
I
if
don't know,
they've
I
just
feel like
paid enough Twitch streamers.
yeah. I feel like we need to.
There's
kinda
always
need to
that
give
part
it
of things.
give it a try though. I gotta admit, my interest has been piqued.
I'm with you.
All right.
Does Warner Brothers own Cats? Did they do the Cats movie / musical?
Oh God, I hope not.
Oh.
Give me the Taylor Swift cat.
Jellicle cats.
No, that was Universal.
Jellicle cats.
Oh, it's Universal?
Yeah.
Damn. Where's my Universal fighter so I can have James Bond shoot the Taylor Swift cat?
Are you guys ready to move out of the multiverse and into the mental verse?
Hell yeah.
Let me put on my Oculus Quest 2.
Yeah, we had a bunch of VR news this week. It was really like a lot of stuff. It was
Yeah.
kind of surprising to me, like, because again, to me the VR stuff is really exceptionally niche within as much as everybody in like with the the metaverse stuff wants to claim otherwise.
I think true
the
VR
install base is
we'll
very
look back
low.
at this as we look back at the Atari 2600. Like I
think
we're
that
in that
I think
phase.
that I think that's even being a little too generous, because like we've talked about like how most VR games nowadays, like that aren't like fan mods or whatever, just look like glorified tech demos. They're not actual stories, and there's no meat there. It's just like, it's good for comedy, it's good for memes. Again, I always go back to seeing people playing Hitman 3 in VR and sneak, like, with both floating hands in front of your face as you're walking up behind a target, and then ragdoll shaking them as you try to choke them out in VR. It's very funny. But
yeah, so the only one that I would say doesn't count as a tech demo for me is Half-Life Alyx. I think that's the first like true VR game that has launched.
yeah, and like then that one's again being expanded in the fan mod to be even better.
Another. I think it's even getting a second mod, because I think that one that was showed at Game Fest was Levitation.
Yeah,
and there's a new fan mod coming out called Incursion, which is supposed to like build off of it again.
But so first bit of news. Sony treated us to a more in-depth look at the PSVR 2 and a bunch of its features. This one is kind of interesting. Like, it's not something I actually thought of as being an issue, but so it's like with its built-in external cameras, you're able to with the click of a button on the headset be able to use it, what they're calling it, the new see-through feature, to be able to see your real world surroundings. So you're not walking into shit, or it's like if you need to like pick up a drink or something, you're not just going all over the place.
That's a feature that most inside out tracking headsets have now, because those are the headsets that have the cameras built in and track from the headset. Like my type of headset, which is an outside in tracking, which uses external lighthouses placed around, can't do that because I don't have the cameras in my headset to do it. But the difference being that outside in tracking with external lighthouses means that there is no dead zone in the tracking. Like if I put my controllers behind my head, the lighthouse can still see them. So you have more of the freedom of movement. Whereas an inside out tracking, if you move your hands behind your head and the headset cannot see them, they disappear. They're gone.
And so
cannot be tracked.
There seems to be a significant trade-off there. It's like that, the PS VR2 versions, like definitely seems more user-friendly.
Yes, inside out tracking is probably the future. They just have a couple things they need to figure out first. It's just a lot simpler. I think external lighthouses are kind of a pain and hard to teach people to use.
Well, because you've told us that that it takes you like a half hour or more minimum just to fucking set up. Just get a
because I gotta pull my couch out of the way. I gotta move my table. I gotta pull the tripods out and get the lighthouses set up. I gotta get them connected. I gotta get them communicating.
Yeah,
like I gotta calibrate the headset and the controllers so that the movement tracks proper.
Like this does seem a little bit more plug and play. Not entirely.
Because the whole idea of a console VR should be: I take the headset out, I take the controllers out, I plug it into the console, and I'm in. Like that should be the only
you do have to map your play area still. And that
Yes,
kind
but
of stuff,
that's
it.
also just that's a common VR feature.
Yeah,
that's a
absolutely,
safety
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's like I do that every time I use VR. Is I go out and I map out, trace out like a foot in front of the TV, stuff like that, so that I don't punch through my TV screen.
So for those of us who are cursed with
Yeah, that'd be
content
bad.
brain, those of us who are cursed with content brain, then this next feature is actually very interesting. And a broadcast feature allowing you to film yourself while playing. You do have to have the PS5 HD camera set up.
Another
that way
use
you can
for my PS5 HD camera.
Yeah, but it's like you could stream yourself playing a VR game, and it's like showing you on screen as well doing goofy ass shit. So like definitely good for
the
for the
PS5
content
HD
minds.
camera was originally purposed only for if you wanted to stream Twitch off your PS5, it could do the camera overlay. So this is basically just a build off of that, essentially.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
like, good to keep getting used to. Like the camera's like $25 or something like that. It's not a bad deal for like if you want a cheap streaming setup, get a PS5 and an HD camera, and you're pretty much set to go.
So I guess this next one is weird to me because it depends on like, again, I've never used another one. It says like, yeah, you customize your play area using the controllers with their own embedded cameras. How is that different than other ways? How would you calibrate your play area otherwise?
That's just a technology thing. Like my Valve Index controllers don't have cameras in them, and they map using the lighthouses feeding off of it. So this is basically saying this seems to be the way they're going to work their way around the inside-out tracking issues of behind the headset losing sight. I think the controllers are going to have their own mapping to it. But I think this is just a different way of doing how it's going to, when you trace out your area, how it's going to detect the spots.
Okay, and then so the last two features were just them giving some specs for the visual displays, like the refresh rates and the frame rates and the
FOV and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff. But so it's like they've got a VR mode, it's like playing the games, but then you can also do a cinematic mode, which is obviously a little bit you don't get as high functionality out of it. But it's basically you can watch movies and stuff
like you're in a theater,
in a virtual cinema.
I don't really know how I feel about that. That's kind of
I'll
dystopian.
just watch it on my fucking TV.
Yeah.
It's
also like VR headsets get hot. Like I don't want to wear it for a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, no, that's just MultiVerse stuff.
Yeah. Does anyone remember the eye toy?
It's
sounds like a sex thing.
It's ringing a bell, but
I think the PlayStation 2 like motion control.
It was a camera for the PlayStation 2 that predates like the Kinect and had like
exactly.
games.
It was the Kinect idea, but before we really had any sort of good tech,
it didn't use infrared tracking or anything like that. It was pure image tracking.
Yeah, it was awful.
Hilarious. Ahead of the game. They are. All right, but so PSVR 2, we'll be interested to see like the adoption rate of that, because the big thing is going to be what does it cost?
I think it's all purely based on price. I'm interested to see how they price it.
Are they going to be able to?
Because the specs and stuff line up to something that I would say would be $500 to $800.
Yeah,
but I think they're going to try to target $300 to $400. I think they're going to try to slide in at $300.
Because if they can do that, then they're going to beat out the Quest headset that Meta just upped by $100
for no reason.
Because it ties into the
inflation.
The next major. But it ties into the next major topic is like that they are, Meta and Quest are the dominant force in the industry and control basically the entire market, particularly through their Quest marketplace, and are able to funnel everybody in and basically set prices through that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Sony can kind of compete with them on that front. I think that would potentially do a little bit of damage there. But
the Quest has one thing going for it that no one else can compete with right now, and that's that it's a true standalone headset that does not need a PC. Like that's the real big kicker about the Oculus Quest, is that you can buy it by itself and have a VR experience. You can tether it to a PC to experience, different VR games, but like that's its big selling point right now. And then
It's just like maybe a VR console on its own.
yes. However, the other selling point was it was $300, and that's low enough that for some people that's like an impulse buy thing where it's like, oh, $300, go buy it because you're out at like the store and see it.
I got a really
400
good
starts
tax
to creep up.
return, and I'm a sicko, and
Yeah.
I'm a sicko. So let's try that out. But yeah, we've basically been seeing, it's been quite a bad year for
Meta has been
for
hemorrhaging
Meta.
money.
Yeah, formerly Facebook. Like things are not going well for them, and further
Their VR division in particular is hemorrhaging money.
And they've just been dumping billions of dollars into that. And Zuck is not happy because the FTC has officially stepped in to block their acquisition of a small VR startup called Within. They are, again, a small company, but that has a hit workout app called Supernatural. And so, yeah, this lawsuit by the FTC was filed on the same day as Meta released its latest bad earnings report, which showed its first decline in quarterly earnings since Facebook went public in 2012.
Wow.
Bad day. But a lot of people, though, are asking, like, why now and for such a seemingly small or insignificant purchase. The one thing I saw is that insiders are speculating basically that the FTC, has fumbled the bag so spectacularly with Facebook and other tech giants acquisitions of late, in particular Facebook acquiring Instagram and WhatsApp, that they're basically just like, they got to step in now. It's basically like they're putting, for some reason, it's basically because they think they could, they are, because they could, they're drawing a line in the sand. Yeah.
I still look at that fateful day all those years ago where Facebook bought Oculus and just don't understand how that was allowed to go through.
So I have a quote here. Ron Knox, a researcher at the Anti-Monopoly Institute for Local Self-Reliance, wrote in a piece or like a blog post or something, because of these failures, mentioning the Instagram and WhatsApp purchases going through with no problem, that the FTC and the DOJ are now scrambling to play catch up, spending enormous time and resources on lawsuits to try to unwind deals and stop monopoly abuses. FTC Chair Lena Khan in this lawsuit against Within merger has said no more. And to me, I think it's a little too too late kind of thing.
Well, I mean, Lena Khan is like, she is a break 'em up.
Oh, I know. We've talked about this in the past.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, she got appointed like in the Biden administration. So
not doing things fast enough. Bring back Ajit Pai.
I mean, good. So good for her that like she's actually wielding her power, and one of like the few.
No, this is good. It's just funny.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not criticizing.
Yeah, as they're about to let the Microsoft, Activision Blizzard.
No, that's
exactly.
Yeah, you're right. No,
that's
exactly what is so funny to me. It's like that is that they're gonna. Yeah,
we're putting our foot down. We're using our power. It's okay, Microsoft. Not to you though.
No, but is Lena Khan or is the DOJ on that?
It's the
one?
FTC, I think. I'm pretty sure
it's FTC on that one.
But it's like I saw a comparison to it. It's because
Homeland Security.
It's because these government agencies still consider video games to be outside of tech in the larger sense.
Yes, correct.
That is why that they are letting it go, regardless of the fact that if the acquisition goes through, it will be the largest acquisition in tech history. And Microsoft is a tech giant. Like what the fuck. But yeah, so I mean, I think you really can't argue though that Meta has a stranglehold on the market. We've got some stats here. And this goes back even 2 years, that in 2020 Meta controlled 62% of the market for VR headsets. In the first quarter of 2021, Oculus headsets made up 75% of the market, and all of that, again, as I mentioned before, funnels users right into the Oculus store for all those purchases and for all those apps. That, again, Facebook is getting like 35% of every purchase that's made.
This is funny too, because this comes right on the heels of their whole no more Facebook account requirement, but you'll need a Meta account.
Yeah,
They
like I
suck.
I'm sorry, no, go ahead.
No, just meta sucks in
It's
general.
like they're just scrambling though now.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they still have more money than God, but like they're
Mhm.
they're
Yeah,
losing
but they've
more and more
lost
of
some
it.
money. They lost a little bit of that money, and that's unacceptable, my friend.
I mean,
For
I
real,
do
though.
think if they keep pushing the metaverse thing for, another 24 months, if it doesn't catch on, that could actually fuck them up pretty good.
They've got a supposed, like, air quotes on here because it's not really rumored. It's kind of like one of those like unofficial official rumor things. They've got Meta like Quest Pro headset that they're supposed to be releasing.
Mm.
That has been one of the major money sucks for them that they've been like designing and redesigning. That's probably their Hail Mary that they're hoping for, that they can get a headset that can compete with like the Valve Index on the spec side, but still undercut it because of the whole like standalone style. But that's probably the best thing they're hoping for at this point.
All right. Stepping back a little bit into reality, still not quite, but so it's interesting. This episode we're kind of like bookending on things we kind of talked about or touched on at least last week. Starting with Ubisoft, and now we're back to
Minecraft.
the Minecraft mines. Do we think Minecraft is in trouble? A lot of the player base would say so. And no, it's nothing to do with their stance against NFTs, which is what we talked about last week. But the uproar amongst fans surrounds the implementation of a user reporting feature included in the latest update. They are concerned that this feature is reactionary in nature and will result in people being banned for like jokes and stuff taken out of context.
It also applies to private servers, which is where a lot of the people are really unhappy. Is
Right.
that
So they
someone can
can't have
report
their private.
well, someone can report a chat you had in a private server and get you banned from like all Minecraft.
They they're people are like are again, because most Reddit users are fucking 12 and stupid. That
I think the sad part is that's not true. They've done
Yeah.
demographic surveys and it actually skews a lot older than you'd think, which
Yeah.
makes it worse.
but they're definitely still stupid at least. They're
Skews
claiming
to
like
like 22 to 35 and just
they're
makes
like, oh,
everything much worse.
Microsoft is monitoring our chats, and that's not what this
Yeah.
is. This is all like user end stuff.
Yeah,
This
you
is all
have to
about-
have it reported by a user and then Microsoft can go through your chat log.
Yeah.
It's probably going to end up being like a way to target, minorities or
Absolutely.
and trans.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you join my private server and I don't like you, I'll just report your chat log to Microsoft.
And it's if we've seen like other social media reporting systems, if those are anything to judge by, that the concerns are somewhat valid. That these things can obviously be abused in this case and are usually targeted against those with the least amount of power and influence and that are actually not saying bad things, and that actual bad shit will still be rampant and unregulated.
I'm just thinking about when I was on Xbox reporting people for like slurs and whatnot, like sent message slurs too, not just like spoken word.
Goddamn.
And then getting the email a week later that said they found nothing wrong with their chat logs and the report.
No, that's exactly what's going to happen. It's what happens on Twitch still.
Yeah, and again, it's like how long until it's like these things are obviously regulated, or I should say that when a chat log gets audited, it's done by like a bot, it's done by algorithms, and these algorithms fucking suck. Like I don't know if you guys saw things like people were getting banned on Twitter for posting glitches from Stray because it was like being flagged as like revenge porn. Like absolutely deranged stuff, and it's because these algorithms are stupid and don't know what they're doing, and it's just like our over reliance on this technology is obviously not good for actual users. Will this hurt though? Minecraft is still the most successful game out there, so I don't really think so, but like, everyone's like, oh, rip Minecraft is
Rip
dead.
Minecraft.
I think the thing that Minecraft is going to define what happens with Minecraft is the full merging of the Java and the Bedrock edition. I think I said that right.
Yeah.
Might be.
Those are nonsense words to me.
Well, there's
Same.
two different versions of Minecraft. There's
Yeah.
if you had Minecraft when it originally launched from Mojang, it was a Java edition, and then when
Yeah.
Microsoft bought it, it became the Bedrock edition, which runs on a different engine essentially.
Got it.
Yeah, and now they have a version where basically you can choose which one you do.
No, I think
And they're slowly shifting towards the merging of the two. And I know there's a stark like, don't keep your Bedrock away from my Java because Java has different mods and
cooties.
yeah.
Internet cooties, yeah.
You know what? No, this is not the death knell of Minecraft. The death knell of Minecraft would be if they made it so anyone who used the N-word was banned.
You have
Yeah.
against the Japanese word for run, my friend. Type that into Google and let me know how you feel.
All right. So I think that does it for us today. We're back at full fighting force. Blessings to you, Mike, on your completion
you.
of your trials and tribulations.
Over the next 3 months, he's slowly going to become more deranged. And by the
Yeah,
end of
we're-
it, he's going to be peeing in
Oh,
jars, Howard Hughes style.
Don't worry. I'm already as deranged as I could
Yeah.
get now that I've taken the bar.
Fully
We're-
jokified.
We're
Yeah.
happy to have you back. It's plug a choo choo time. The train is coming. Follow us on Twitch at campaign_comrades. Check out our YouTube channel. We've been doing better to post our VODs to YouTube after the fact. If you say like what we do here on the pod, be sure to come see us live on Friday nights. To basically talk about all the stuff from the week that had to get cut from the podcast, because there's just so much shit that's going on, and a lot of stuff that's worth talking about for us here in the channel. It's just like we try to group things, so we can make a more kind of cohesive kind of narrative for the week. Things are still all over the place, I'm sure, but like we do our best here. But I don't think I'll be streaming tomorrow, but come see me on Saturdays at on Twitch at Blind Nico. But I do a little kind of mini podcast stream thing with one of my D&D players, and we just kind of talk about all sorts of stuff. Generally focused a little bit more around D&D and tabletop stuff, but we talked a lot about different games and stuff last week. That was fun. But yeah, we streamed and talked while I was playing Power Wash Simulator.
Nice.
Lots of fun.
Power Wash Simulator is also Steam Deck verified.
So satisfying.
Hell yeah.
This is going to be my tagline every time we talk about a game.
Yeah, for the foreseeable future. But anything else you boys got to plug? Anything else on your end? No?
Yeah, you got it all.
All right. For listeners out there, we love you. Smooches. We will see you next time. Bye bye.
In a JoJo
Bye.
voice.